weather outside is frightful, but the fake is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Hello. Poggers. This isn't Twitch. You're not allowed to say poggers. That's illegal. But anyway, I can see that the chat still hasn't come up. Stupid Streamlabs. Always lying to me. Telling me mistruths. Not bringing up the chat. Where is the chat, Streamlabs? I need the chat. Oh, there it is. It's really tiny and shitty, but whatever. I can make you guys a little bigger. Nope, that's the wrong box. There, you're a little bit bigger. I don't know, whatever. How am I? I'm indoors. Oh wait, that's a location, not a state of being. I'm good. I'm good. It snowed there a few days ago. Well, it hasn't. It snowed here once and then it stopped, but you know, couldn't resist inserting my name into a song. Any streamer terms, we will ban you. Yeah. Well, even Markiplier doesn't stream on YouTube. He streams on Twitch. I think the only, famous YouTuber that streams on YouTube is PewDiePie. And that's because he knows his audience. You missed the last stream. Oh, you missed a wild one. I friggin' nuked that guy. His channel got destroyed. And there was no more of whatever his name was. I'm a 9-year-old confirmed. Oh my god. How could you say that about me? I'm gonna move the mic a bit closer so I can speak into it and tell you that I'm not a 9-year-old. I'm a 99-year-old. Look how old I am. Yes, shoutouts to the last stream where I took a bitch down. Am I feeling good? I'm feeling tired, but I'm gonna do this. But before we start with the Christmas stories and rhymes, I gotta tell you guys, can you see the book? You can't really see the book. I'll put it there. There's this story about a fox that catches a chicken in a bag, and then the chicken gets out of the bag, and she fills it with rocks, and then the fox takes it home and tries to throw the chicken into a pot, but it's actually rocks, and it says the stones fell into the boiling water, and the water splashed all over the two foxes and gave them such a fright that they ran away, leaving the little red hen to live happily ever after. I know for a fact that in the original story it was definitely just the boiling water splashed on them and they fucking died. Where do we send the fan art to? To my Tumblr? Or you could just email it to me. In Australia, everything's upside down. No, it isn't. This is right side up. Yeah, anyway, that's not a Christmas story. I gotta get to the real ones. I'm not reading the 12 Days of Christmas. Y'all know that one. It's too commonplace. Hold up. I gotta do some readjusting. I got the Christmas story. And I like the movie, the Jesus one. You'll want me to read the Jesus story? Am I gonna delete the live after? No, I don't do that. Unless, like, I don't know, I guess the only thing that would tempt me to delete a live stream would be if something horrible happened. Like, if I was in the middle of a live stream and then somebody burst into the room and just, like, died on camera, I'd probably delete that. Let's see how much attention she pays to chat. I'm fucking reading it. You spent 3 minutes on that song and I ignored it. Yeah, you're right, I did. It's not really much of a song, it's just a rhyme. But thanks. If Jesus had light up sneakers, he would still be alive. No, they would have killed him because he'd be a witch. Only witches have light up sneakers. They didn't even have sneakers back in ancient wherever the fuck Jesus lived. Israel? No, Palestine. It says Palestine in this book. I think. Hello, Lorenzo. Anyway, let me read y'all the story of Bejesus. Jesus was so powerful, why did he die? For dumb reasons. Anyway, I'm gonna read the story of Bejesus. The Christmas story. In Palestine, there lived a young woman called Mary. I mean, according to historical sources, she was probably like 14, which makes this extra fucked up. She was engaged to Joseph, who was a carpenter. One day, an angel came to the astonished girl and told her that God was pleased with her. Don't be afraid. God loves you. You're going to have a baby son, and you must give him the name Jesus. Oh, you know this is like a proper religious book because they capitalize the hymn. You know, I never see anybody on Tumblr making those jokes. They make gender and pronoun jokes all the time. It should be like pronouns, he, him, capitals only. Probably delete a live if a cam fell and an accidental face reveal. I don't know. You guys would have already seen it. There'd be no point in me hiding it anymore. I'd leave it up. Then I'd make the documentary about it. That would be my fall from grace. Who the fuck is texting me? Oh my god, no, I forgot. Scorpio's streaming tonight. Christ. Ow. I gotta drink liquids. He's playing Sims Herbs. Don't leave my stream to go watch him. Don't do it. Don't do it. Anyway. Let's see. He will be great and reign forever. But I don't understand how this can happen, said Mary. The angel explained that the baby's father would be God himself, which is kind of fucked up. So Mary put her trust in God. When the baby was soon to be born, Mary had to travel with Joseph to Bethlehem to take part in a census that there is no historical record of, but none of the inns had any room. At last, a kind innkeeper let them stay in his stable. That night, Mary's baby, Jesus, was born. Mary laid him in a manger on the hay left for the animals to eat. Oh, that's fucked up. That's the animal's food and you're just laying a fucking baby on it? Rude. Playing Undertale. You should be paying more attention to Undertale. It's a great story. When's Deltarune Chapter 2 coming out? You're Jewish, please stop. It's okay, Jesus is Jewish too. On the hills around Bethlehem, some shepherds were watching their sheep. Suddenly a bright light shone on them, and a voice told them not to be afraid. The voice told the shepherds of the birth of Jesus. The trembling shepherds saw that the sky was filled with singing angels. At once the shepherds hurried to Bethlehem to see the baby Bejesus. Bejesus is short for baby Jesus. Far away, wise men also saw a bright star. They knew it was a sign that a great king had been born. Who the fuck are these? What? I thought the three wise men were also kings. Fuck, this story is so many different versions. The wise men followed the star. They thought that the new king would be born in a palace, and they visited King Herod in Jerusalem. But Herod asked them to tell him when they found the king. He planned to kill the baby as soon as possible. This leaves out a lot of context. At last, the star stopped above the stable where Jesus lay. The wise men gave him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Anybody know what the fuck frankincense and myrrh is? I brought you frankincense. Thank you. And I brought you myrrh. Thank you. Murder? Judas. No. They're aromatic plants. For a second I thought they read aromantic plants. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think plants fall in love. Use them to make incense. Okay, but what about myrrh? Is that also an aromatic? Anyway. Then God sent dreams to the wise men and Joseph, warning them of Herod's plan. The Holy Family fled to Egypt in safety. Does Joseph count as the Holy Family? I mean, he's not even related to Jesus. Oh, that's the end of the story. Great. And the next is Silent Night, which isn't a rhyme. It is a Christmas carol. I suppose I could sing it for you, at risk of getting copyright claimed. Myrrh is a natural gum or resin extracted from the a number of small thorny tree species in genus. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Coomer. I mean, Noah. And my thoughts on Penguin Zero. You mean Critical? Yeah, he's funny. Too many dick jokes, though. He's like, yeah, I bought a giant dick, and I'm just like, that's cool. Talk about something else, please. I think Jesus is still alive. What the whole point of his story is that he was killed. Even if he's like in spirit or some shit, he's definitely not alive. Anyway, I'm gonna sing Silent Night. Silent night, holy night. Okay, I'm not singing Silent Night anymore. That's lame. Let's read Little Match Girl and get really depressed. I'm giving you one more chance, Yeet. Nope, you lost your chance. You're getting in timeout, binch. We told you no spamming. We told you that was against the rules. You fool. Now you've incurred my wrath. Be gone. Why is Match Girl a Christmas story? It just is. Listen to this shit. Or, just watch the Dragon Maid version of it. I don't fucking care. Anyway. One cold and bleak New Year's Eve. What the fuck? You're right, this isn't a Christmas story. It takes place on New Year's Eve. What the hell is this? Fine. Whatever. I'll read it anyway. One cold and bleak New Year's Eve, a poor little girl, trying to sell matches to buy herself a crust of bread to eat, shivered in a doorway. No one wanted to stop as they walked quickly by. Some did not even see her bare feet in ragged clothes. When the streets began to empty and the lamplit windows called home the last passers-by, the little match girl struck one of her precious matches to try to keep warm. seemed as though a glowing fireplace appeared before her. With a little cry, she stretched her frozen feet toward it, but the match went out, and the fire disappeared. With shaking fingers, the little girl struck another match. Now it seemed as though she could see through the wall of the house opposite. There was a table piled high with good things to eat, but as she stretched out her hands, the match went out, and the vision vanished. Fucking cock tease. With tears in her eyes, the little girl struck a third match. Now she seemed to be inside the room, sitting under a candlelit tree. As the tree's lights faded, the little girl lit her last match. She saw her beloved grandmother smiling at her. "Please let me stay with you forever," cried the poor girl. At that, the old lady gathered her into her arms and carried her gently into the sky. The next day, passers-by found the little girl. She had gone to a home better than any on earth for her New Year, which is to say, she fucking died, and they put it in a book for children. I read this book when they gave me this book when I was 3 years old. This is really fucked up. Jesus. We read the lyrics to Christmas Shoes. What the fuck? Like, where did that song come from anyway? Like, is that like from the 50s? Or did somebody just like make that in the 80s? Like, I don't even know where Christmas Shoes came from. Anyway. Wait, Good King Wenceslas. That's a song. Oh, but it's like actually written like a story. Okay, I guess I'll read it. This girl probably didn't even have an RGB keyboard. Clearly, I am living better than her. Anyway, Good King Wenceslas is this stupid, hard-to-pronounce name. Alright. Am I using a snowball for this? Yes. Yes, I am. One snowy night, good King Wenceslas looked out of his castle and saw a poor man carrying a bundle of sticks through the snow. "Who is that man, and where does he live?" the king asked his page. The page replied, "How the fuck would I know that?" Now, the boy replied that he was a peasant whose home was at the foot of the mountain on the edge of the forest. "Bring me food and drink and some logs for his fire," said the king. "We will go visiting." So the king and his page went out into the blizzard. Soon the page called out, "Sire, I cannot go any further." "Walk in my footsteps," replied the king. "Look, we have arrived." The poor man and his family had a wonderful Christmas. They were not the last to bless the name of that saintly king. And that's the end of the story. So our homeboy King Wenceslas looked out the window. He saw a dude with the sticks, and he was like, "Yo, let's go give that guy a good Christmas." And that's the story. This is ridiculous. I get it's a children's book, but like, that's the beginning and an end. That's the story. But here's a good one. The Elves and the Shoemaker. That's a classic. Y'all know the Elves and the friggin' Shoemaker. Y'all know that. Anyway, the Elves and a Shoemaker. Once upon a time, a shoemaker and his wife lived above a small shop. Although the shoemaker worked hard, they were very poor. One day the shoemaker found that he had only enough money for leather to make one pair of shoes. He cut the leather out and left the pieces on his workbench before going to bed. The next morning he was astonished to find that the leather had been made into a beautiful pair of shoes. Still muttering in amazement, he put the shoes in his shop window. That morning a very rich lady saw the shoes in the window and at once rushed inside. "I simply must have those shoes," she cried. I mean, I get it's a fairy tale, but what if they didn't fit her? I mean, I got, like, big feet. Like, most shoes do not fit me. Anyway, that afternoon, the shoemaker was able to buy leather for 2 pairs of shoes. Count 'em, 2. As before, he cut out the leather and left it on his bench overnight. The next morning, 2 pretty pairs of shoes were waiting. So it went on until the shoemaker and his wife were quite wealthy. Hold up. I'm gonna try to show you pictures. Ah, fuck, you can't even see them. Try to lift it up towards the camera. These fucking people. I'm trying to show you these images. This is really hard. This camera is confusing me. Okay, so, like, when they got really rich, they started dressing uglier. Whack. I'm never doing that again. That was really difficult. The storybook is lame. They're all 2 pages long. It's ancient. Not the same in modern times. Damn, bro. Alright. Now the story's not over yet. Don't worry about it. One night, just before Christmas, the shoemaker's wife said, "We still don't know who is helping us in this way. Why don't we stay up tonight and hide in your workroom? Then we will see what happens." That just occurred to you now? These fucking creepers. That night, the shoemaker and his wife saw 2 little elves run in and do all the work, then disappear. The next morning, the shoemaker said to his wife, "Did you notice how ragged the elves' clothes were? Let's make them some little clothes and shoes to wear." So, like, why are these elves doing this? They kind of broke too. Have your job done for you and worked well. Would you try to screw with it? Yeah, bro doesn't know, like, looking a gift horse in the mouth. Fool. The shoemaker's wife thought this was an excellent idea. On Christmas Eve, the presents were finished. The shoemaker and his wife hid again to see what would happen. At midnight, the elves ran in as before. They were so overjoyed with their little suits and tiny shoes that they danced around and sang, "We look so fine as you can see, we need no longer cobblers be." And with that, they skipped out of the door. The elves never did return, but the shoemaker and his wife were happy for the rest of their lives. Wait. So they gave the elves clothes, and then they lost their, like... Now they don't have anybody making shoes for them anymore. You fool. Fucking idiot. He's like, we don't need to be cobblers anymore. They weren't even getting paid. Like, what the fuck? So as long as they have nice clothes, they don't have to be cobblers? What the fuck? What is happening? Oh yeah, this is like Harry Potter logic. House elves. Okay, this is just the entirety of Jingle Bells, the song. That can't count. That does not count. Alright, here's a more direct Christmas tale. I'm gonna tell it to you. Why would the elves make shoes in the first place? I don't fucking know. It's a fucking fairy tale. Like, literally. I'm not singing. You can't make me. OG Dobby. Okay, I'm reading The Best Present. The Best Present. "I want a big truck," said Charlotte, "and I want some more carriages for my train, and I want a box of crayons, and I want..." The list went on for some time, so that Charlotte's mother, who was feeling quite tired, stopped listening very soon. Thank goodness Charlotte's father was out in the town now, picking up the present that they had planned for their daughter. Damn, Charlotte. Fucking greedy ass. Now, Charlie, said her mother, sit down with me and listen. I really must tell you. But just then Charlotte's dad arrived home with a huge package. No looking, Charlie, he cried, puffing upstairs. Can we play horses? Demanded Charlotte. Not now, Charlie. I don't really feel like it, said her mother. And anyway, I still want to have a quiet talk with you. But Charlotte didn't want to talk quietly. She wanted to run and jump and yell because that's how she felt with Christmas coming. Tomorrow. I should make Raven from Teen Titans ASMR. I don't know. If I found a script for it, I'd do it. But I haven't watched that in many years, so I can't write it myself. Anyway, much, much later, after quite a lot of running and jumping and yelling, Charlotte went to bed at last. Now if you hear any rustling and bustling in the night, you must not open your door, smiled her dad. The next morning, Charlotte ran into her parents' room and suddenly stood quite still with her mouth open. Oh, Charlie, laughed her mother. I don't think I've ever known you to stand so quiet and still for so long. Here's a present that, for all of us, that came a bit earlier than expected. This is the best present I've ever had, said Charlotte. And you know, she didn't even look at the big box waiting for her on the floor. Okay, that's the end of the story. The context is missing if you don't see the photo. Hold on. I gotta bring this up. So, the mother had a baby. Like, she was pregnant. And Charlotte had no fucking idea. And just the logistics of this are driving me mental. I'm gonna say it. Like, first of all, this bitch has been pregnant for 9 months, and she just waited until the night before she gave birth to try to tell her daughter about it, but never fucking told her. I mean, how old is this chick? I don't know. Whatever. And also that she gave birth at home during the night. And, I mean, rustling and bustling is one thing, but giving birth does involve quite a lot of screaming, or so I've heard. So, what the fuck is this? Reestablishing the British Empire ASMR. Never in your life. This is ridiculous. I mean, birth is not an easy thing. Like, how the fuck? Deck the hall. Let's deck the halls. Traditional carol. Fuck you. There's not even music notes. That doesn't help. Downsizing, only one hall left. Oh my god. All you do is set out a basket for the stork to lay the baby in. Right. Anyway, let's read the next one. Babushka. Ooh, this is like a Russian story. Cool. Once there was an old woman called Babushka who lived all by herself in a wooden hut in the forest. The nearest house was many miles away. Although Babushka was very poor, she was happy. One winter's night, as Babushka sat sewing by her fire, she heard 3 knocks on her wooden door. On the doorstep stood 3 very fine and important-looking men. Come in, you are very welcome on such a cold night," said Babushka. As she busied herself making the tea and finding some food, Babushka asked the strangers where they were going. "We are following a star that will lead us to the place where a new prince has been born," said one man. "We do not know where it will stop." Okay, nobody told me that the three wise men were stopping in fucking Russia on their way to go see Jesus. Besides that, Jesus was in the desert. There ain't no snow there. So weird. "Who is this new prince that you seek?" asked the old woman. "He is a holy child," said the second man. "He is the Christ child who will reign forever." Babushka's eyes widened as the third man showed her the precious gifts that had been brought for the new baby. "I wish I could see this holy child," she said. "Then why not come with us?" the three men replied. "You are welcome." No, said Babushka sadly. "I am too old to go on a journey." Soon the snow eased a little, and the three men set off once more. All night long, old Babushka thought of the Christ child. "I will go," she said. And I guess she just pulled like a Bilbo Baggins and just friggin' went on an adventure, I guess. Antarctica doesn't count. Fuck you. Anyway, she packed a bag of toys for the new baby and set across the snow. Poor Babushka, she had waited too long. She could not find the three strangers. Some say she is still searching, giving gifts to poor children on her way. And that's the end of the fucking story. That's so mean. So the three wise men found their way to fucking Russia while they were looking for Jesus, and poor Babushka, she's wandering the earth for eternity looking for Jesus, just giving out toys. This is so what the fuck? She dead. Oh man, you don't do that to Babushka. Come on. That's so mean. Okay, are there any friggin' good stories in here? A traditional carol, I saw 3 ships. I don't know, I've never heard this one. I don't know the tune for it. And what do you mean 3 ships? Don't tell me those 3 wise men were on ships. And they brought their own ship each? Come on, man, you could have carpooled. Stories make Christmas sound shitty. Like, fucking, like, why were they in Russia? Karma force feeds you because you were too skinny ASMR. Wow. 3 wise kings. I don't fuck it. The earlier story called them the 3 wise men. And what are they even kings of if they are kings? Do we have historical documentation? This is fucking bullshit. Okay. Here's a real Christmassy story. The real reindeer. Hello, Analia. Hello. Their status is unknown. They got demoted. There are 3 people and they are wise. Wow. Life. Is Pluto a planet? It would be. If I didn't destroy Pluto, it doesn't exist anymore. Across the ice of the Arctic Circle, a brown shape moved slowly. It was a real reindeer, separated from his herd in a snowstorm. One night, as he gazed into the sky, the reindeer saw something strange flying towards him. With a crash, it landed on the snow a few yards away, and a jolly man called out. "Need a job?" the man asked. "One of my reindeer left at short notice." "Which one? Which one of the reindeer left at short notice?" Was it fucking Rudolph? Did Rudolph ditch? Good for him. Everybody was such an asshole to him in that movie. The reindeer cleared his throat, and can also apparently talk. Well, the fact is, I've never learned to fly. The old man was doubled up with laughter. Don't worry, he said. I give on-the-job training. Come on. It's better training than I got. So the reindeer took his place with the others. Hurry up, cried the man in red, climbing into the sleigh. This is a busy night for me. 3, 2, 1, lift off. All that night the sleigh flew over towns and villages, delivering presents. At last the old man pulled off his cap. Just one more present to deliver, he said. Soon the sleigh flew over a snowy landscape once more. Will this be okay? Asked the old man. There seems to be a few reindeer here already. Do you mind? Mind? It's my family, cried the reindeer joyfully, and he ran off to join them. Well, that's the last present delivered, chuckled Santa Claus. See you next year. They waited until the end to reveal that his name was Santa Claus, like they were trying to keep it a secret or some shit, you know? Like, we get it. Why weren't you at elf practice? Classic. Great meme. Man, you know, sometimes I wish I got the CBC. Like, I don't have TV. Like, I have a TV, but I don't have cable. I wish I got the CBC so I could watch all those, like, you know, those stop-motion movies and the Scrooge, A Christmas Carol. Apparently that movie's not public domain yet. The 1950s one, which is a shame. It's a really good movie. But I've decided, actually, I mean, we have a few, like, options for our public domain Christmas movie thing that I'm gonna do. I was thinking Santa Claus versus the Devil, because that just sounds fun. Why is Fake ignoring me? My name's not Fakelin. I'm not a turtle. Is there going to be a Vampire Mistress Part 4? I don't know. Playlist is writing it and also saving up to commission it. So, you know, that's up to her. Like, really, if it's a commissioned piece, if it is a script that someone else wrote, I can't write a sequel to it. Go to ho hell. Damn, bro. There's a version of Christmas Carol over the 1950s. Yeah, you're right. But why would I want to watch that? I want to watch the one that I'm familiar with, which is the one from the 1950s. It's a good-ass movie. Anyway. The Christmas Mouse. That is the story we're reading, that I'm reading to you. Christmas is supposed to be fun, thought Jason gloomily, but there was Great Aunt Gladys with her mouth drawn in a thin line of disapproval. Next to her were Aunt Diana and Uncle Paul. They weren't speaking to each other because their car had broken down on the way over and they couldn't decide whose fault it was. Does CAA not exist in this universe? Jason's sister Allison was sulking because her boyfriend Mark wasn't taking any notice of her. Mark was silent. Jason's mother was tired out and his dad was fast asleep. Jason couldn't bear it any longer. Perhaps everyone would like to see my presents, he suggested. If there's something quiet you can bring, get that, said his mother. So Jason went to his room and carefully lifted his new white mouse, Snowy, from her box. You keeping the mouse in a box? That's not a safe place to keep it. This chat is getting weird. Getting weird. Right. As if it wasn't always weird. Anyway. Nothing had changed in the dining room. Jason walked across to his great aunt Gladys, his eyes on his cupped hands. That was why he didn't see the stool that she was resting her feet on. In the confusion, everyone yelled together, but Jason was the loudest. "Where's Snowy?" There was a silence for a moment. "What?" asked everyone at once. "Snowy, my mouse," explained Jason. "Ah!" shrieked Jason's sister, throwing herself into Mark's arms. "I love mice," great Aunt Gladys on her hands and knees. "I'll catch it in my bag," yelled Aunt Diana. "Stand clear, we need teamwork," shouted Uncle Paul. 5 minutes later, the crisis and the gloomy silence were over. Mark and Jason's sister were giggling on the sofa. Uncle Paul beamed at his wife. "Using your bag was brilliant. You organized everyone so well," she smiled back. "I'm going to give that mouse the biggest hunk of cheese it's ever seen," said Jason's dad. "Merry Christmas, everyone." That fucking sucked. That was terrible. That was really bad. What the fuck was that? The Holly and the Ivy is another song that I don't know the tune to. Oh good, here's another story that'll give everyone depression. It's called The Little Christmas Tree. Any story with sentient Christmas trees, just fuck that, that's bad. Anyway. Many years ago, deep in a forest, a little fir tree grew in a small clearing. All around it were huge trees, their tops reaching up toward the sky. One day, a truck with lots of men in it came along. It was time for the big trees to be felled and taken to the sawmill to be made into lumber. "All these are to go, except this little one, of course," said the foreman. That night, the little tree felt sad. "I am sorry that you are going to be cut down," he said to the big trees. The trees rustled their branches. "Don't worry about us," they said. "Our tall, smooth trunks will be used to make all kinds of interesting things. But you will just be thrown away." Wow. Dick move. Then the little tree was even more sad. He gazed up at the sky. "This is the last time I shall see the stars," he thought. This sucks. This fucking tree thinks he's gonna die. "Oh, thank you, Sir John Rye, for the 99 pence, I guess, or British cents, whatever. It's 99% of a pound. And I guess that's a dumbbell sticker? Cool, thanks." I gotta make sure it pops up on the Streamlabs. Where is it? Where are you? It's gonna be slow. Come on. You can do it. Do it. Do the pop-up. Maybe it already did and I just didn't hear it. It's not doing it. Do it. No. You've made me look like a fool for the last time, Streamlabs. Damn it. It did come up? Okay. It appeared on the stream, but no sound. Damn it. Oh, wait. I think I have the sound off. No, I don't. So what the fuck? Why isn't it working? You've all been fed lies. Turn up the sound. I can't fucking see anything. What the hell? It's up really loud. Okay, whatever. I'll fix that later. Curses. Anyway, I did have a sound set for it. It was a whole thing. Pops up with the star. You know what? I'll record a custom sound for it. It'll just be me saying, "Oh my god, somebody donated." Anyway, let's read more about this depressing tree. The next morning, the big trees were felled, but the foreman did not pull the little fir tree up. He dug very carefully around him and lifted him with a ball of earth around his roots. Then he put the little tree in his truck and drove to his home. 3 little children ran out and laughed. "You've brought the Christmas tree," they cried. "It's a lovely one." Today the little tree stands tall and strong near the house, and at night his branches almost seem to touch the stars. Okay. They took the little tree and put him in front of a house. Oh my god. Thank you, Zach Smith, for the Canadian $20. 20 maple leafs for the fake streamer. Very good. Oh, see, it did pop up. There was no sound, though. It's supposed to have a sound. How could this be? How could this be? Media, a volume. What the friggity flip? The media. A sound file. Whatever. I can't really change it while it's live. Stupid thing. But thank you for your donation. You heard a sound. Alright, fine. I'm gonna figure that out later. But anyway, We Three Kings. I don't know the friggin' tune for this. Oh, but they do tell us what the myrrh is. Frankincense, which is just incense, and myrrh is a bitter perfume. What's this kid gonna do with perfume anyway? Anyway. Oh, this is creepy. He's got another sentient object. Not a fan of this. The runaway present. Okay, bye, just commenting. Being really dramatic. I know you guys told me what they were, but like the book itself explains, which is good for the 3-year-old me who does not have internet access. Stop trying to give me a nickname by force. It's not working. Anyway. The runaway present. It was Christmas Eve. All the Christmas presents were piled up under the tree. There were big ones and small ones, long, thin ones, and round, fat ones. The clock struck 12 in the quiet room. Suddenly the pile of presents began to move slightly. "Let me through, excuse me, please let me through," said a voice. At last a small present wrapped in red and green and with a big bow on top struggled out of the pile. It ran out of the door and off down the path, leaving tiny footprints in the snow. It has legs. It's weird. Okay. All night long, the little present kept running. An owl sitting in an old oak tree looked down at the hurrying present below. Silently, he swooped down and picked up the present in his beak, carrying it back to his branch to examine it. "Please don't eat me," cried the present. "I wouldn't taste good, honestly I wouldn't, and I'm in a hurry, you see." "To who?" hooted the owl. "Where to?" "I got mixed up in the pile of presents under the Christmas tree. I should have been sent to the children's granny in the next town. She'll be so disappointed if I don't arrive. I really must try to get there by myself." "To who?" said the owl. "Well, flutter my feathers, that's the strangest story I've ever heard. If you give me directions, I'll carry you into town." So the owl flew off through the trees, carrying the present in his beak. Soon they arrived at the children's granny's house. "Here I go," said the present, jumping through the cat flap. "Bye. When you are unwrapping your presents next Christmas, look carefully to see if one of them is a little bit out of breath, for that will be a very special present indeed." They never even say what the fucking present was. I didn't say it. There's a picture, but You can't tell what it is. Scram is just friggin' like opening the present's head and it's creepy. He's got a face. I don't know what to say about this. The present is a mimic. Oh shit. Check your presents for legs. Your present is the friends we made along the way. Of course. Now, the Christmas Carol Mystery. Ooh. Fa-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. It's a mystery, said Vicky, and someone must find out their secret. She was talking about Christmas carols. Every year, 2 groups of singers went around the town collecting money for charity. And every year, the group from St. Mary's Church Choir, who sang like angels, collected less money than the group from the youth club, who made a really horrible noise, even when they sang easy carols. What we need, commented Janine, is a spy. One of us should go around with the youth club. My cousin Jemima is coming to stay for Christmas, said Vicky. They don't know her. So that was what happened. Jemima went along with the youth club and volunteered. Cousin Jemima. That's really funny. Okay. Yeah. Okay, hold up. Okay, no, that's the right page. Are they an ant, perchance? Who names their kid that? I don't know. Somebody like in the 50s. Jemima reported back to St. Mary's. I think you should go out singing on Wednesday night, she said, before the youth club have a chance to do it first. The St. Mary's choir spent all Wednesday evening trudging the streets, calling at every house. They collected a lot of money. On Thursday, Jemima set off to join the youth club group. All right, team, said Gary, their leader, as they reached the first door. 1, 2, 3, jingle bells. And then there began the most awful noise that Jemima had ever heard. In seconds, a face appeared at the door, and the noise stopped. Another carol, sir? Gary asked politely. No, no, cried the man, throwing money at the choir. And so it went on. Time and again, the youth club were paid handsomely to go anywhere else. Jemima enjoyed herself so much that she never did tell her cousin how the youth club choir succeeded. After all, there was room for both of them. You won't either, will you? That's a weird thing to end the story on. Like, I'm not gonna tell them they're fictional friggin' characters. Jemima was not a real person, it's a racist slur. No, Jemima is a name. It's not... The name Jemima is not a slur. What? It's a fucking name. Jesus Christ. Fuck's sake. Anyway, here's another one. Jemima Ruth Thaddeus. Thaddeus. My God, what a name. Got hair stuck to my shawl. Don't like that. The best moral for a children's book. Don't snitch, bro. Anyway, the Christmas snowman. It's the same every year, muttered the snowman. These children give me an old hat and a moth-eaten scarf and then forget about me. That man in the red coat and beard comes along and it's as if I don't exist. Ugh. The next day, the snowman wasn't any happier. I can feel a thaw in the air, he grumbled. Drip, drip, my toes are melting already. The snowman was still grumbling that night when there was a whooshing in the sky and a sleigh pulled by reindeer swooped down onto the snow. Oh no, said the snowman gloomily. It's that man in red. What on earth does he want? The old man strolled up to the snowman. Could you look after this bag of presents for me? He asked. I'll leave the children a note to say that you've got it. "It'll be safe with me, sir," said the snowman, proud to have a real job at last. He didn't close his eyes all night as he guarded the bag. Wow, I need some water. This is bad. And Germa. Oh no. In the morning, all the children from the house across the street came running over the snow to find their presents. Their dad came too with his video camera and filmed them opening their gifts. Oh my god. The 90s. Fame at last, thought the snowman. That man in red never stays around long enough to become a star like me. Poor guy. I am lucky after all. The children would miss me as much as him if I were not here. Well, almost. What the fuck, dude? Okay, that was really dumb. I think this is supposed to be another carol, but I do not know the tune to it. Okay. In the bleak midwinter, frosty wind made moan, earth stood hard as iron, water like a stone. Snow had fallen, snow on snow, snow on snow. Oh, fuck you, that's a cheat rhyme. In the bleak midwinter, long ago. What can I give him, poor as I am? If I were a shepherd, I would bring a lamb. If I were a wise man, I would do my part. Yet what I can give him, give my heart. Oh man, it's like the end of that one Angry Video Game Nerd episode where he was like, but I will give my heart to Jesus, and then he rips out his heart. That was great. Anyway, let's read the next one. I don't know if we're getting any closer to the end of this. Mrs. Muddle's present puzzle. And you know me, I'm all about puzzles. One morning, Mrs. Muddle said, "I will not get into the kind of muddle I did last Christmas. I will shop early." All day she was busy shopping. Then she wrapped up everything. There was a train set for her nephew Jimmy, a scarf and hat for her brother Sam, a cookbook for stern Aunt Susan, sensible socks for great Uncle Harry, roller skates for little Susie, and a microscope for Susie's big brother Tom. Then Miss Muddle hid the presents under the bed. On Christmas Eve, Mrs. Muddle took out her presents, but she hadn't put any labels on them. There wasn't any time to undo the presents and wrap them up again, so Mrs. Muddle just had to guess. On Christmas Day, Mrs. Muddle looked out and saw great Uncle Harry roller skating past. "Best present I've had in years, thanks," he cried. Where the fuck they living where they can go roller skating on Christmas Day? You fuckers living in Florida with your good-ass weather. Tired of this. I was in Florida last Christmas. Not this year, though. Everything went wrong. They call her Stern every time. That's a bit mean. I mean, she probably deserves it if they're calling her that. Anyway, more things. A second later, little Susie came past on her new roller skates. "These socks are great. It doesn't hurt at all when I fall over. Thank you." Somebody get that kid some fucking elbow pads, too. The phone rang. It was her brother. "I've wanted a train set for years, and Jimmy loves his microscope," he said. At the door, stern Aunt Susan beamed out from her hat and scarf. "I was so fed up with sensible presents," she said. These are such fun." "Well," said Miss Muddle, "what can Susie's brother Tom have got?" Before she had time to work it out, Tom arrived. "I've made you some cookies from my cookbook," he smiled. "It's a great present." Mrs. Muddle ate one of Tom's cookies. I knew advanced planning was the answer. She laughed. And that's the end of the story. So she fucked up, but it worked out in the end anyway. Because everybody got cool presents, and they were all fucking cool with it. Although that whole, scarf thing does remind me. Y'all remember when I did that roleplay that was girlfriend celebrates your birthday or something, and she gives you a scarf? I was so worried people were gonna call me out for that. They're like, what the fuck are you talking about? People looking for cool scarves. But nobody said anything, which is pretty good for me. Anyway, back to business. Oh, Noel, 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 Noel. He was born of the king of Israel, but I thought he was born in Palestine. Fuck this. How could you do this to me? How could you say a scarf is like barf? How could you do this? It's so mean. The Full House, not the TV show. I don't know how we're going to manage this Christmas, said Mrs. Moore. We're going to be full to the rafters. Yes, dear. Her husband was buried deep in his paper. He thought it best not to argue. Well, I had to invite your sister Maggie and her family when I heard that her new kitchen wouldn't be ready, explained Mrs. Moore. Yes, dear, said Mr. Moore, and he shuffled off to his tool shed. The next day, Mr. Moore's time with the newspaper was interrupted again. I don't know where I'm going to put them all, he heard his wife said, but I couldn't let Jimmy and his mother stay in that drafty old house over Christmas. You know best, dear. I'll be in the tool shed, said Mr. Moore. On Christmas Eve, Mr. Moore had a surprise. His nightshirt was laid on a sleeping bag on the landing. Well, it's the only place for us to sleep, explained his wife. God, I have fucking been here. This is just my mother all over again. Palestine is Israel now? Oh, fuck, really? I don't know anything about geography. Anyway. There is going to be no more of this taking in waifs and waifs. Waifs? Motherfucker using a word like waifs? It's ridiculous. There is to be no more of this taking in of waifs and strays, replied Mr. Moore, even at Christmas. In fact, Mr. Moore enjoyed himself that evening. With so many people for supper, there were not enough chairs to go round, but that didn't matter. Everyone was happy. Just as they were getting ready for bed, the doorbell rang. On the doorstep stood a young woman with a tiny baby. I heard that you help people, she said. There was a fire in our street and everything is still drying out. We've nowhere to go tonight. We don't need much. The floor will be fine. I'm so sorry, said Mrs. Moore, but I just have no room at all. Nonsense, said a voice behind her. It was Mr. Moore. We'll just have to do a little reorganizing. Later that night, Mr. Moore sighed contentedly. This really is surprisingly comfortable, he said. Mrs. Moore chuckled. I know how fond you are of your tool shed, she said, but I never expected this. And they're sleeping in the tool shed. That's the picture. This fucking lady, the absolute gall, just to show up at some fucking stranger's house and just be like, hey man, I know it's Christmas and everything, but can I sleep here? Bro. Why are we arguing about Israel? Because I don't know geography. I'm not getting into this fucking argument. Apparently Palestine and Israel is a big deal. How was I supposed to know? I don't know anything. I'm not even real. A teddy bear Christmas. Ugh. Alright. On Christmas Eve, teddy bears find it just as hard to go to sleep as children do. One Christmas Eve, not long ago, Grandfather Bear tried everything to persuade the little ones to go to bed. If you don't go to sleep, a very important visitor might not come at all, he warned. He tucked the little bears into bed and crept away. Grandfather Bear snuggled into his own bed and turned off the light. But could he fall asleep? I am a silly old bear, he said to himself, to be excited about Christmas at my age. And what were those noises at the door? Grandfather Bear smiled. All right, you bad little teddy bears, I'll read you a story until you feel sleepy. Grandfather Bear opened his special book of teddy bear stories. What do you think he read? On Christmas Eve, teddy bears find it just as hard to go to sleep as children do. What the fuck? It's a paradox. It's a paradox. It's gonna loop into itself forever. What the fuck? What? What? It's a paradox. Oh my god. I'm losing my fucking mind. Anyway, that's the end of the Christmas stories with we wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I sang that bad on purpose. The only thing left is nursery rhymes, which I don't think you guys want to read. There's Bo Peep, there's Mother Goose. I don't know, there's a lion and a unicorn friggin' fighting over a crown or some shit. Read the entirety of War and Peace. Not on my watch. What the fuck is this one? I don't understand this. Where are you going to, my pretty maid? I'm going a-milking, sir, she said. May I come with you, my pretty maid? Yes, if you like, kind sir, she said. What is your fortune, my pretty maid? My face is my fortune, sir, she said. Then I cannot marry you, my pretty maid. Nobody asked you, sir, she said. Classic, nobody asked. What the fuck was that supposed to mean? I don't understand this. What the fuck? I don't... Tinker, tailor, soldier, sailor, rich man, poor man, beggar man, thief. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? What do these words mean? You just stuck words together. I don't understand. Anyway, what about like the 1-2 buckle my shoe? I'm not reading that one. Stupid. I don't... The fuck? I don't get this. Nursery rhymes are dumb. That's the one... Yeah, that is. That's Rip Van Winkle's line from Hellsing Ultimate. Not Ultimate Abridged, though. Why does she say it, though? I never understood it there, either. She's like, Tinker, tailor, soldier, sailor, my bullet punishes all without distinction. What the fuck was that supposed to mean? Who fucking wrote these? There was a crooked man, and he walked a crooked mile. He found a crooked sixpence against a crooked stile. He bought a crooked cat, which caught a crooked mouse, and they all lived together in a little crooked house. Well, I mean, not the mouse, because if the cat caught him, he was fucking dead. That's bullshit. telling lies. And the Queen of Hearts making some tarts. I don't know, I get the feeling that royalty does not know how to cook. What the fuck? Jesus. That's on mayonnaise. It's not an instrument. Okay. There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and scolded them soundly and sent them to bed. Well, that fucking sucks. Those poor kids. This lady has so many friggin' kids. This is ridiculous. Sing a song of sixpence? I don't think so. Oh, Old Mother Hubbard. That's classic. Old Mother Hubbard went to the cupboard to fetch her poor dog a bone, but when she got there, the cupboard was bare, and so the poor dog had none. Okay, am I wrong? Like, did bone and none used to rhyme or something? Is that, like, how the fuck is this supposed to work? She sent to the baker's to buy him some bread, but when she came back, the poor dog was dead. Oh, fuck. She took a clean dish to get him some tripe, but when she came back, he was smoking a pipe. Dog's getting lit. I guess the dog didn't, he was just playing dead, whatever. She went to the alehouse to get him some beer, but when she came back, the dog sat in a chair. That doesn't fucking rhyme either. These are lies. These are fake rhymes. This is bullshit. She went to the tailor's to buy him a coat, but when she came back, he was riding a goat. That's weird. She went to the hatter's to buy him a hat, but when she came back, he was feeding the cat. What the fuck? What does this mean? She went to the cobbler's to buy him some shoes. Oh, like, fuck, the magical elf, the elf cobblers? Nursery rhyme cinematic universe, whatever. She went to the cobbler's to buy him some shoes, but when she came back, he was reading the news. She went to the hosier's to buy him some hose, but when she came back, he was dressed in his clothes. The dame made a curtsy, the dog made a bow. The dame said, "Your servant," and the dog said, "Bow wow." The fuck is this? The dog is a Chad, yes, but it makes no sense to me. And there's Mary Had a Little Lamb and Baba Black Sheep and shit like that. There's a lot of artwork in this book, but, like, it's all done by different people. What the fuck? What fucking version of Pop Goes the Weasel is this? Okay, listen to this shit. 1/2 pound of tuppenny rice, 1/2 pound of treacle, what the fuck? Mix it up and make it nice. Pop goes the weasel. That's not how it goes. The fuck was that? That's not how pop goes. That's not how it goes. You're making shit up. That can't be how it goes. Sounds like an old English version, I guess. fuck? This one's like, higgledy-piggledy, my black hen, she lays eggs for gentlemen. And that's the whole thing. I don't, what the fuck? Oh, here it is. There's a classic. Oh, I can't say that one. The one on top of it. I know they're talking about a cat, but the terminology has changed. I can't actually say these words anymore. You can't call a cat that anymore. You know what I mean, right? Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle, the cow jumped over the moon. The little dog laughed to see such sport, and the dish ran away with a spoon. See, in this rhyme they call it a cat. Why couldn't they call it that in the other rhyme? It's ridiculous. What the fuck? Little Tommy Tittlemouse lived in a little house. He caught fishes in other men's ditches. What the fuck? Okay, so there's like follow-ups to this. Little Polly Flinders sat among the cinders, warming her pretty little toes. Her mother came and caught her and whipped her little daughter for spoiling her nice new clothes. What? Oh, thank you, Marone Saxatilis, for the US $2. I'm so confused by this. Tweedledum and Tweedledee agreed to fight a battle, for Tweedledum and Tweedledee had spoiled... For Tweedledum said Tweedledee had spoiled his nice new rattle. Just then flew by a monstrous crow as black as a tar barrel, which frightened both the heroes so they quite forgot their battle. The fuck? God. I need liquid. And then Peter Pumpkin Eater had a wife and couldn't keep her. He put her in a pumpkin shell, and there he kept her very well. When did these nursery rhymes make sense? At what point in what history? Are we talking like the 1800s, the 1600s? Like, when the fuck did this happen? Who allowed this? Oh shit, Batman reference. 3 wise men of Gotham, they went to sea in a bowl, and if the bowl had been stronger, my song had been longer. What the fuck, dude? So who are these 3 dudes from Gotham? Who are the 3 characters that live in Gotham who would be stupid enough to go to sea in a bowl? Probably Killer Croc. He would do that. God, I'm coming down with something. Jesus. Okay, so Killer Croc would probably be stupid enough to do that. And, I don't know any other, like, I don't know. Penguin, Killer Croc, and Bane. No, Bane's really smart. He wouldn't do that. Oh, dang. Playlist. Yeah, you missed all the Christmas stories. Sorry. But now you get to see me lose my mind in nursery rhymes. None of these make sense. And Penguin owns, like, a boat, canonically. He wouldn't go to sea in a bowl. So we got Killer Croc. Joker, maybe for the joke. Okay, who else? There are really many, like... A lot of Batman's foes are, like, really smart, so I don't think there's a lot that would do that. Maybe the Mad Hatter, because he's fucking crazy. Just maybe. We'll go with that. Killer Croc, the Joker, and the Mad Hatter. Catman. Well, I mean, I think there is a Catman in DC Comics, but I think there is one in Fairly Odd Parents, I think. What the fuck is this? Can you make me a cambric shirt? I think that's how it's said. Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, without any seam or needlework, and you shall be a true love of mine. Okay, so basically, make me a shirt that's impossible and I'll fall in love with you. It's basically just saying, like, I am never gonna fall in love with your ass. What the fuck? Hark, hark, the dogs do bark, the beggars are coming to town, some in rags, and some in jags, and some in velvet gowns. Where are these beggars coming in velvet gowns? I don't, like, what? What are we fucking talking about? Pretty maid, where have you been? Gathering roses to give to the queen. Pretty maid, what did she give you? She gave me a diamond as big as my shoe. For roses? This queen's fucking rich as hell. Gonna have to do an uprising. Pull a France. I don't know. Oh, here's that one that's like what day you're born on. Let's do this one. Monday's child is fair of face. Tuesday's child is full of grace. Wednesday's child is full of woe. Thursday's child has far to go. Friday's child is loving and giving. Saturday's child works hard for a living. But the child that is born on the Sabbath day is bonny and blithe and good. And gay. Oh man, I know it meant something else back then, but that's still pretty funny. And I don't mean that in like a homophobia way. I mean that in like, you know, they thought it meant something else back then. You know what, I'm going to do some research here and see what day I was born on. So I can figure out like what kind I am. Yeah. So I'll just punch this in. You guys don't get to know what day I was born, though. You just get to know what day of the week. On this day. It was a Thursday. What does that mean? Thursday's child has far to go. What does that mean? What does that mean for me? What does that mean for my soul? Where do I have far to go to? Born in 1984, confirmed, LOL. I'm glad I wasn't. But you're never gonna know when I was born. Okay. Uh-oh. Wow. 90s were something else, huh? Are we allowed to say the word gypsies? I mean, they say it on TV, so maybe. Is it technically a slur? I don't know. My mother said I never should play with gypsies in the wood. If I did, she would say, naughty little girl, to disobey. I don't know, man. So it's kind of a slur. Like, maybe it just depends on how you say it. Like, if you say it, like, with, like, a real mean tone to it, then yeah, that's a slur. I don't know. It could be about context. I thought they preferred Romani. I don't know. Roma? No clue. I don't suppose there's any like that in the chat, so none of us will ever know. Three blind mice. See how they run. They all ran after the farmer's wife, who cut off their tails with a carving knife. Did you ever see such a sight in your life as three blind mice? I mean, there's a song to that, but I'm not gonna sing it. Stream now demonetized. Damn. As if all the swearing didn't do it. They voted on the proper term being Romani. Alright then. Don't play with the Romani in the woods then. I don't know why they'd be in the woods. Oh, this one's cute. I love this one about the three little kittens that lost their mittens. Aw, that's adorable. Three little kittens, they lost their mittens and they began to cry. Oh, mother dear, we sadly fear that we have lost our mittens. What? Lost your mittens, you naughty kittens? Then you shall have no pie. Meow, meow, meow. No, you shall have no pie. The three little kittens, they found their mittens and they began to cry. Oh, mother dear, see here, for we have found our mittens. Put on your mittens, you silly kittens, and you shall have some pie. Purr, purr, purr. Oh, let us have some pie. They're the kitties, they're wearing mittens. Listen, everybody knows that a cat named Mittens is super adorable. Everybody loves cats, and everybody loves the word mittens. Kittens and mittens. Cobbler, cobbler, mend my shoe. Get it done by 2:30. Stitch it up and stitch it down, then I'll give you half a crown. I assume that's like shorthand for like some amount of currency. Half a crown. Maybe it's half a pence. I don't know. Whatever. No, it makes no sense. I think that's... yeah, that's the end of the book. Who the fuck wrote this? Every page is colorfully illustrated by leading children's artists. Do they give credit for this? Okay, here we go. I don't know who any of these hoes are. 1 crown equals 5 cents. Okay, that's old money. Alright. Who drew this? First published in 1996 and reprinted twice in 1997 and 1998. Okay. Illustrated by Martine Blaney, Joe Davies, Francesca Duffield, Colin and Moira McLean, Jenny Press. Oh goodness, thank you. Just want to play this for the Australian $2. How much incoherent screaming can $2 buy? Heart. I don't know. Not a lot of screaming. I got neighbors. Best you can get is this. I'll do more. That's as close as it gets. As close as it gets. Anyway. Jenny Press, Terry Rogers, Kathy Shuttleworth, Leslie Smith, Annabelle Spenceley, Jenny Thorne, Jenny Williams. There's 3 friggin' Jennies in here. Linda Worrell. I don't know who any of these guys are. You guys heard of them? You were joking. Bullshit, I didn't see a /S. Anyway, I don't know. I think they have the original version of The Little Mermaid in here. We could read that. It's fucked up. Where she turns into sea foam. Actually, you know what? It's like a lighter-hearted version of this of the sea foam story, but it's not like a Disney version. So it's like happier, but I think she still dies in the end. So let's read this. Long ago and far away, the king of the mer people ruled all the lands under the sea. He had 6 beautiful mermaid daughters who loved to play in the clear blue water, but they were not allowed to rise to the surface and look at the world where human beings lived. You are all much too young to leave the sea, said their grandmother, but I will tell you strange tales of the world of human beings if you are very good. As the princesses grew up, they each swam up to view the outside world. At last it was the turn of the youngest princess. Above the waves, the sky was dark. As a great storm blew up, the ship was driven upon rocks near the shore, and a young man was thrown into the water. The little mermaid brought him safely to shore, leaving him on a sandy beach. The little mermaid hid and waited. Soon some girls came along the beach and found the young man. "It's the prince," they cried. "Where is the lovely girl who saved me?" he asked. But no one knew. Ooh. The little mermaid swam sadly away. She had fallen in love with the handsome prince, even though she knew him she didn't even speak to him. She saw his face once. "I shall visit the sea witch and ask for her help," she said. "So you want to become human? I shall take your voice as payment," cackled the witch. "But to be truly human, you must be loved by a human man. If he chooses another, you will turn into sea foam before dawn." So the little mermaid gave her lovely voice to the witch and became human. She joined the crowd at the prince's palace and before long became close to the prince. But without her voice, she could not tell him who she was. This is bullshit, because in the original, it felt like she was walking on knives, but whatever. It's fine. Sound like a female version of Creepypasta, the YouTuber. Homeboy really gets to call himself Creepypasta? That's rude. That's a genre. That's not a person. You don't see me going around calling myself country music. Rude. I can't go around calling myself grimdark. That's not how this works. Also, my glasses are super dirty now. It's really unfortunate. I'm not happy about it. I'm gonna deal with it. One day, the prince said, "We are sailing to meet a beautiful princess. I may marry her." The little mermaid thought that her heart would break. When the prince met the lovely princess, he was dazzled by her beauty. The wedding was planned to take place the next day. Jesus. The little mermaid wept. "You can save yourself," cried her sisters from the sea, "if you kill the prince." But the little mermaid loved him too much to do so, and threw herself into the sea. But she did not turn into foam. She became a spirit of the air and was happy at last. That's a fucking rewrite. That's a goddamn rewrite. That's one hell of a rewrite. Because that bitch definitely became sea foam. Vampire girlfriend drags you down to explore the ocean but forgets that humans need to breathe and accidentally drowns you. Ooh, that sucks. Fake ASMR is a genre of ASMR, therefore you are a genre. Oh my god. No. I can't believe you would do this to me. This is ridiculous. You're calling me out? I'm not a genre. I'm not even real. This is ridiculous. And of course there's Cinderella in here. Don't really get it, though. I mean, I think this was, I don't know, this was probably after, like, I don't know if this was after the Little Mermaid movie came out, but it was definitely after the Cinderella movie came out. That shit was like 50s, 60s? I don't know, whatever. I mean, the original Cinderella story makes no sense at all, so whatevs. And then there's Snow White, which, I don't know, the prince is ugly. And Thumbelina, classic, a classic tale. Are you still fake ASMR if you put in sound effects? Sure. I mean, most real ASMR doesn't involve sound effects. It involves just, you know, scratching on the microphone. Tapping sounds. Again, I don't know, friggin' cutting scissors, whispering very gently and softly in order to induce a tingling feeling, but I've never been able to confirm that. Could I actually commission the 10 minutes of monetized silence ASMR? If I could, I would probably do it. Yeah, you can, but it's $10. Like, even if there's no words spoken, like, the flat rate for a commission is $10. So, you know. Better save up some pennies, yo. Make a mommy issues ASMR one. Like, man, you send me, like, a script or something, I decide if I'm gonna do it or not. If I say no, then I'm not doing it. It's not happening. I think I'm putting cutting scissors in my next one. Banned forever. And I do. But I'd probably just steal the sound effects. You guys know that I don't do most of my own sound effects, right? I just look up whatever I need sound effect on YouTube, and that's what I use. I suppose I can make my own. I do have paper. I have a printer now. I don't really use it. Whatever. Anyway, we could read Thumbelina. Once there was a woman who longed to have a little girl of her own. She went to a wise woman and asked for help. The old woman said, "Bitch, get laid." No, actually, she was like, "Take this seed," said the old woman, "and plant it. You will see your wish come true." So the woman did as she was told. The seed grew into a plant with a yellow flower. In the middle of the flower was a little girl, no bigger than a thumb. So the woman called her Thumbelina, because she was just a bitch like that. Use Half-Life sound effects. I'm just gonna use frickin' sound clips from HLVRAI. Man. I don't know. Like, I've been thinking about it so much lately. Like, I feel like they're probably gonna do a sequel to it maybe next year, or like maybe like another year from then. But part of me almost wants them to not make a sequel because, you know, like, where else can you really go with it? I don't know. Like, how are they gonna do that in Half-Life 2? I almost just want them to, like, leave it where it is. Anyway. Tells the tale of Darth Plague. Is it Plagueis or Plagius? I haven't watched the prequels in, like, forever. I have a hard time coming up with this script. Might take a while. I don't know. You could, like, if you find a script that you really like on, like, Reddit or whatever, you can send it to me. Like, you can't, like, commission, like, I don't think you should commission, like, scripts that you yourself didn't write, because I feel like that'd be kind of, like, a bad idea, because, I don't know. Actually, would it? I don't know. Maybe, I don't know, whatever. trying to decide what my policy should be on that. You make donut ASMR. What am I gonna do? How am I gonna make donuts? I don't know what you're talking about, but anyway, I don't know. I guess if it is a currently existing script that somebody else wrote, you could, like, just pay me to read it. I don't know if that, like, breaks some sort of, like, code of honor amongst script writers and ASMR people. A talking donut which is alive comforts you and stuff. I don't like where this is going. Ugh. The woman took good care of Thumbelina, but one day a mother toad hopped in through the window and carried the girl away. "You are so beautiful," croaked the toad to the frightened little girl. "You shall be married to my son." And she left Thumbelina on a lily leaf in the middle of the river. Rude. Thumbelina began to cry. She did not want to be married to an ugly toad. Some little fish who were swimming past saw her tears. They nibbled through the stalk of the lily leaf so it floated off down the river. Thanks, fish. All summer long, Thumbelina was happy, but when winter came, she grew cold and hungry. One day, Thumbelina met a field mouse coming out of her house. "You can stay with me for a little while," said the mouse. "You must meet my friend the mole," the mouse went on. "He is looking for a wife." So Thumbelina went to see him. His house was dark and cold, and something was lying on the floor. What the fuck? "It's a dead bird," said the mole. Just... It's a fucking dead bird. What am I supposed to do with this? But Thumbelina bent down and felt the bird's body. Its heart was beating. Okay, so what the fuck? Okay, thanks. "I will look after you," whispered Thumbelina. She cared for the bird until he was well enough to fly away. In the spring, Thumbelina sat sadly looking at the blue sky. It was time for her to marry the mole. I thought she flew away on the bird. Oh no, the bird flew away without her. Suddenly she saw a bird high above. It was her swallow. "Climb onto my back," he said, "and come with me." After flying across the land and sea, the swallow landed in a flowery meadow. As Thumbelina looked around, she saw little flower people, just like her. "Welcome to our land," they said. "We will call you Maya." It's spelled M-A-I-A. Does anybody know how to pronounce that? Meh, whatever. Thumbelina had found her real home at last. That's not her name anymore. Her name is Maya. Which, sounds more appropriate than fucking Thumbelina. Rude bitch. Where's her mother? I don't know. I guess she's childless now. Don't know why she didn't try to get home at all. I think she was probably living a pretty good life with her mom. But then she got kidnapped by a bitch-ass frog. Oh shit, Rumpelstiltskin. This is a fucking classic. Let's read Rumpelstiltskin. Anyway. Once there was a silly man who had a very beautiful daughter. He boasted to the king that she could spin straw into gold. The king smiled. "If she can, I will marry her," he said. So the poor girl was brought to the palace and shut into a room with some straw and a spinning wheel. "You have until morning to spin that straw into gold," said the king. "But if you fail, you must die." This is, okay. That's harsh. As the door clanged shut, the girl burst into tears. Then in a puff of smoke, a little man appeared, he has like horns. I guess he's like a demon or something. "What is the matter?" he asked. Sobbing, the girl explained. "But that's easily solved," laughed the strange little man. "You give me, let's see, your gold ring, and I'll spin this straw into gold." The poor girl was only too glad to make the exchange. Long before morning, the little man had done as he promised, and disappeared. The king was delighted when he saw the golden thread, and at once wanted more. "Twice more, and we will be sure that this was not a trick," he said. What a dick. I hope she doesn't have to marry him after all the shit he did. You gotta be kidding me. On the next night, the little man spun the straw in return for the girl's glass beads, but on the third night she had nothing left to give him. "When you are queen," he said, "you can give me your firstborn child." Facts. I mean, the motherfucker can have him. I don't want kids. Do me a favor. But whatever, this is serious, she's a queen. This seemed so unlikely that the girl agreed, and the little man worked as before. The next day, when he saw the golden thread, the king kept his promise to marry the girl. She was very happy, especially when she had a baby daughter. Why are you happy to marry this man who threatened to murder you if you couldn't spin straw into gold? Like, what the fuck? I mean, I guess she's rich now, so she get, like, that's fine, but, you know, it kind of sucks. Like, a lot. Anyway, one night the young queen was startled to see the little man again. "I've come for your child," he said. The terrified queen begged him to take her jewels instead. "No," said the little man, "but if you guess my name within 3 days, I will go away and never return." On the next 2 nights, the queen guessed every name she could think of, but the little man shook his head. On the third day, a soldier told her a strange story. "In the forest, I heard a little man singing. He said, 'The queen will never win my game, for Rumpelstiltskin is my name.'" Demon girlfriend accidentally pokes your eye out with her horn while you two sleep. Ooh, don't tempt me. Making bad decisions up in here. That night, the queen tried again. "Is your name Trip Trap or Humblebee Bumblebee?" "No, no." "Then is it Rumpelstiltskin?" The little man stamped his feet so hard that he fell through the floor and was never seen again. The queen lived happily ever after. What? So he fell into the basement and nobody went to go check? What the fuck? I don't get it. Like, whatever. It's always about queens and kings. These people don't know how to run a kingdom. Oh shit. Hansel and Gretel. That shit's a classic. It's fucked up though. These homeboys are friggin' eating her house. They did that. Oh no, like she's actually threatening to eat him. And then Gretel friggin' shoved that bitch in a stove. What the fuck? Okay, this doesn't make any sense. Afia girlfriend found out okay, I can't actually do that, you know. Ah, man. You know what? I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I am thinking of taking a break, you know, from posting every day. Honestly, all that nonsense with the whole copyright claiming fiasco, that copycat bastard, that really wiped me out. I'm pretty exhausted over the whole thing. Just... like, I know I got his channel friggin' nuked, but still, the whole kerfuffle really, really wiped me out. So I don't know. I did make Sans ASMR. Yes, I should be canceled for that anyway. But, I don't know. I think I might just, like, aside from commissions, just, like, I'll make a few videos during December, and I'll take commissions, and I'll do that Christmas movie live stream thing, but I don't think I'm going to post as often this month, just to give myself a bit of a break. Plus, I get, like, a week off in December, so I might just use that time to just build up, like, a supply of videos, so if I'm ever, like, having, like, an off day, I can just, like, post one of the videos that I have, like in my stash, and just post that. I don't know. How much do I actually earn from videos? It's, like, less than $100 a day. Some days it's like 30. Some days it's more than 100 though, because I do a live stream and people donate a lot, so that's cool. I don't know. But if I'm gonna go on a break, I have to make an official video about it. A your girlfriend is taking a break style video. You know what I want to do? It's crazy, but I was talking to Gameling the other day, gave me an idea. Everybody's always asking me how my head hurts, how I came to this stage in my life where I am talking into a microphone and writing scripts and things like that. And honestly, I kind of want to make a visual novel out of it, you know? Like, just, it's really short, like, the story of me deciding to do this. I just want to make a visual novel out of it. And, like, they have free backgrounds that you can buy. It doesn't have to be anything complicated or anything like that. It might be like 5 minutes long, but I want to see if I can do it, you know? Be fun. I don't know. And then, like, anytime anybody asks me why I decided to do this, I can just link to, like, a download page to just get the visual novel. I have the 10 minutes of nothing video as a free upload to help with things. Yeah. Maybe that should be, like, my official going on break announcement video. Your girlfriend takes a break to work on a visual novel. Thank you. I don't know what your name is, Junior Swag. It's okay if you say I have a nice voice. It's not weird. I mean, you're here for the voice. I mean, you're clearly not here for my face or my hands. I think that would take too long to set up, though. You have so little faith in me. I've made visual novels before, as jokes, as joking around. If I write it out, I could have it done in a couple days. Why did I choose the name Fake ASMR? Because it's not real. It's ASMR, but it's fake. The original ethos of this channel was that, like, this is, like, stuff you would never expect to hear in ASMR. But I fucked that up. I did some real stuff. But I could be fake. I am fake all the time. When am I going to show you my face? 100K. Real ASMR was taken, I'm guessing. No. I didn't want to be real. I never tried to be real in my life. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway. The headaches are coming back. I must evacuate the area. But I'm sure I'll do something eventually. I've already written out the script for the sock gremlin ASMR. And if y'all thought I wasn't gonna do it, I did write that. I just have to figure out what voice to give the sock gremlin. Like, should it be like high pitched, like, hey, I'm the sock gremlin. Or like, I'm a sock gremlin. I don't know. Either way. I'm both real and fake at the same time. Oh my god. When you're real, you're just faking. Oh my god, a real fake and a fake faker. Surprised Plain Coon doesn't make appearances anymore. Yeah, because I moved. I'm not next to an airport anymore. But I'm keeping the emote. Anyway. The second one sounds more gremlin-y. Alright. How long have I been streaming? Oh, it's been like 2 hours, which now means that I must leave because I'm not a professional streamer. I am just a professional talking and making noises person. And I'm allowed to call myself a professional because I do technically get paid to do this. Anyway, I'm going to vacate the premises. I hope you've enjoyed the, what the fuck is this book called? The Little Treasury of Stories and Rhymes. Stories and Rhymes and Be Gay, Do Crimes. I'm scratching the mic. That was real ASMR. One last round of incoherent screaming. Oh, sarcasm. Oh, it's a sarcasm, is it? Ah, too bad. I did it anyway. Maybe I should, like, if I get a better microphone, I'm gonna, like, you know, they have a website for that, like voiceactors.com or something. Maybe I should, like, go and put myself on there. You know, really get myself out there, try to get, like, some real work. I don't know. Anyway, I've heard good things, but I'm going to leave now. Thank you all for viewing me. Goodbye. Goodbye.